Time for another one of those It's Your Business. Brenda Musa joins us, and boy, she is on a quest to change something that's very, very difficult, I think, for so many moms out there when they find themselves, you know, they're traveling around, they're just running down out to go grab lunch with somebody, they're going to a museum, and you've got a small child, and you're changing diapers. And there have been all these stories about what's found on those changing tables. Some of us, if you don't have children or you have grown children, you know what it's like. You go by them and you see them and you think, oh, that looks terrible. And if I had a small child, grandchild, niece, nephew, or somebody with me where I had to change a diaper, I can't imagine even using that space. So, Brenda, did I accurately cover that? Is this what's happening to so many people?
It is, and unfortunately, it's happening more frequently than what we'd want it to. And on top of that, you also have issues with dads not even finding changing stations to even begin to look at them to see if they're worth changing their child on.
Oh, so that's a good one. So
right.
Because there are a lot of men that sometimes are the care, they're in charge of child care, or it's a day where dad has the baby. It's something that we don't think about in this country, right? Because he's not going to go in the woman's room.
Right, and also same-sex parents, right? If it's a gay couple that has a child, where are they going to change them?
Wow. I'm surprised more people haven't, talked about this. So you saw this as an opportunity to create a product, do something different. What is it you're trying to do?
So we saw it as an opportunity based on experience, right? We have we have twin 2.5-year-old boys, and through the course of just our day-to-day lives of changing diapers, we came across too many situations where there either were changing stations but they were filthy, or if there weren't changing stations, and we ended up having to go to the car. 19 degrees, it's raining, it's snowing, and we just said something's got to give. We couldn't find anything, so we decided to make it. And our goal is for this to be in everybody's diaper bag so that they don't run into those situations and they're not exposed to some of the bacteria and viruses and E. coli and even drug residue.
Yeah, so tell us about Change and Go. Tell us what it is.
It is a portable diaper changing station that hangs from public bathroom stall walls or doors. You can change your child in the privacy of a stall, and then when you're done with it, you can pack it up and put it in your diaper bag and go on about your way.
So what's been the reaction to creating this product? What have you heard from people around you?
Well, the first thing we did is we did a product innovation research study where we surveyed 411 parents of 2-year-olds or younger, and 89% of them said if it existed, we'd buy it. So that was our first sign that, people wanted it. And while we've been going through the creation of it, we've had a lot of parents try our prototypes, and they have loved it. Everybody we've talked to has loved it. They say it's going to make a big difference in the issue with no changing stations in restrooms. And so we're excited about it. Everybody's been very positive about it.
Okay, as somebody who's now turned into a mompreneur, I love that term. I like the fact you did, 411 parents, and you listened to what they had to say. What was the most difficult part of creating this, coming up with this?
I think the most difficult part has been waiting for designs to be done, waiting for prototypes to be built, waiting until we could get our hands on the next level of the product so we could try it and get parents to try it and see what the response is. That's been the hardest. And then really just the whole process of business. I was a therapist prior to this, so running a business was entirely foreign to me other than my own private practice. So I've had to learn a lot about investor decks and spreadsheets and finances of running a business and business licenses and patents and trademarks. So it's been a fast and furious learning curve for me.
I like that, investor decks, spreadsheets, and that was smart, though. You jump into that, and you have to know that, right? So you look around you take a business class, you talk to people, and we live in a great age of people sharing that kind of knowledge, thank goodness. But there is a learning curve, isn't there?
It's huge, and you got to learn fast. Thank goodness for Google and Yahoo and all those search engines that allow you to pull up information so that you can self-educate yourself. And then thank goodness for people around us that have become good advisors for us, that are successful business people that can help us and direct us.
Have you ever thought about taking the product and going on Shark Tank? I bet you a lot of people suggested that to you.
Almost everybody that we talk to have suggested that, and honestly, we are avid Shark Tank watchers. We watch it every Friday night, and we make lists of questions that they've asked, and it's always been our expectation and dream that we would be on there. So there's no doubt in our mind we will at least get to audition for them, and hopefully the future's bright for that.
Yeah, no kidding. Because what would be the ultimate, I mean, if you were, and obviously I can tell you're driven and you have big ideas, what would be the ultimate goal, Brenda, for this product?
Originally we planned to make it, get it in every parent's hand, and then turn around and have an exit strategy in 3 years. That's a new term I learned. But as we've gone, we've had people tell us, this could be a brand. You could really make some interesting products for parents on the go. So we're actually looking at making this a long-term business and branding, doing some branding on some products and see how it goes.
I love it. Okay, one of the things that you're doing is you're doing a Kickstarter campaign, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that.
So Kickstarter, for those that haven't had anything to do with it, it's an all-or-nothing type of campaign platform, which means we set a financial goal, which was $29,000, and people pledge rewards based on different levels of buying the product. If we reach our goal, then we get all those funds, which will be strictly used for manufacturing and packaging and distribution. If we don't reach our goal, then we don't get anything, and people don't have to pay. So our goal is $29,000. We're on our way there, and we definitely want to encourage people to take a look at it. You can get the product for almost half price, especially coming up this Father's Day weekend. We're going to have a great sale for Father's Day. So we're helping people go to Kickstarter and give it a chance.
Okay, so go to Kickstarter.com projects and look for Baby Change and Go, right? Is that how they find it?
Correct. And if they'll watch starting Friday night at about 7 p.m., they'll see that the product will open up a couple of rewards for the product being half price.
All right, love it. Brenda Musa, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on this version of It's Your Business.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Wow, what an interesting idea. Doesn't it get you thinking and get you kind of excited about, first of all, two different things, because from the business aspect, as she mentioned, talking about spreadsheets, exit strategies, learning things that she had to learn, making that jump from therapist to now running a business. And that's such a cautionary tale, because a lot of people assume that okay, I'm successful at this, and I'm going to dive into this, and you don't know the things that you don't know about running that kind of a business. And you think about the stories, and I have seen it when I was taking my nephew around. These changing tables were absolutely awful. So of course I always went to the car, and she's right, it would be raining, snowing. I can remember a time at the Jersey Shore where poor Owen, I was just struggling to try to get him into the back seat of the car, because there was no way I was going to use the changing table that we had come upon, let's put it that way. And then there was these wild, wicked stories about terrible bacteria that's on the changing tables, and even some that have really scared us, where they've talked about drug paraphernalia and other materials that they found on these tables. And the other point I thought that was so interesting and may resonate with many of you listening is the fact that you have a lot of men that are with, I've seen a lot of guys with, I know, their grandchildren, and they're helping out their daughter, their son, their daughter-in-law, son-in-law, whatever. And a lot. I've seen that happen a lot. I've seen that at parks. So imagine they're in charge and they've got to do the changing thing, but they have no place great to change them. And they're chasing around maybe a couple of really young ones, toddlers, who have diapers, and that's got to be incredibly frustrating. I think this product really has a phenomenal chance to go somewhere, because I think it is a very, very big problem. And I know some of you listening who also have had children can totally relate to this. Think of even years ago, if you were lucky, if you could even find a changing table. But what do you do? What do you do if you're that guy that has no place to change the baby or the youngster that's in diapers? The answer is just what I said. You're doing this in the back seat. You're trying to figure out a place where you can have a surface that you can do it, and they're wiggling around. And I mean, it really is and has to be pretty challenging for people out there who find themselves just in the hairy-carryness of it all, in the middle of it, in the middle of the chaos, figuring out, what do I do? And, how dangerous, how brutal are these public restroom changing tables to begin with? So it's kind of a twofold thing. This is, when you think of products, this is what you do. When you start to look at the reality, this is why I think this has a good chance, because the reality is this is a problem that needs to be solved for so many people. Good stuff. Brenda Musa. And we wish them the best on their Kickstarter campaign. Hang with us.